stream. Okay, and we are live. Ta-da! I love the magic of technology. It's working. Is it working? Are we on? Da, 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 da. I think we are Facebook Live. Okay. Very good. Karina Schelde, welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my universe. So exciting today to have a conversation and interview with another global leader originally from Denmark, Karina Schelde. Karina, she had created and she's the founder of Soul Voice Method. And she's going to share with us today what it's all about and all the benefits and the juice of using our voices to express ourselves, to sound, to liberate ourselves, and yeah, the power of our own voice. So, Karina, thank you so much for being here today. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Annika.
Yeah, you are in New Zealand right now, is that right?
Yeah.
Yay, yeah. So, tell us a little bit about your journey, like how Soul Voice came about. How did you discover that your voice had power and could free yourself?
Well, I have some decades of experience in creating this method, and I believe when I was an actor in my 20s, which is a couple of years ago, I was so fascinated about the embodiment of the voice because I worked with mask theater and comedy dell'arte. And actually, quite some years after I had done my one-woman shows and being in film and in theater, I shifted career after having been an actress for quite some years. And it was in my request or in my quest of being a counselor, breath worker, shamanic healer, and also did a lot of dance therapy that I discovered like freeing the voice with all these, because they are alternative therapies, were an enormous power and went way beyond what hands-on, what mental or embodied coaching even can do. Until I, in my healing center in 1988, when I had shifted career, had this auspicious experience that when I was working with breathwork counseling and bodywork, actually, I started to sound from the top of my lungs and the depths of my heart. And just like a trance of sound came out of me to relieve this deep pain that this client had, and the pain was gone. The wisdom is from the sound came very profound to this lady, yeah. And this was in 1988. So I got my initiation at that time to work with sound medicine. And since then, I have dedicated my whole life to pioneer a sound healing method that I believe really goes to the core of everything. I mean, I traveled to 25 different countries on the planet. Deliver it, I do an educational program. I do beginners workshop as we have here coming up in Sydney, the 1st and 2nd of March. But I can guarantee it's profound to a level that people are not maybe used to in other therapies. It's fun and playful, adventurous at the same time. But people come to me that are really synergized, no matter what kind of therapies or healings or nothing at all they've done before. The soul voice are synergizing so that they can move to their next level of their consciousness, of their evolution. And it's to the point, always. With play, with fun, but
Yeah.
scratching quite some layers that people are not used to eventually, plus to hear themselves in all these kind of sounds that is needed to come out if it comes from our primal self, our emotional self, And through that, we get to the wisdom of the higher consciousness of all that is. But it takes that energy, and it takes like people are really letting go of all this over control that we always have, in order to just let yourself take this free fall. And group energy is very, very important. Like people are really working together, partners, the whole group, and so forth. I have much experience in how to really synergize all kinds of souls and personalities so that each student also become a teacher for them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that was a long story here to start with.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Continue, please.
We can really feel your passion for it, and your commitment, your dedication, and your passion for voice work, um, being a pioneer, and you stayed committed. You stayed, year after year. You just keep showing up and developing uh, different aspect of how to use the voice, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's like the way that I have developed the method is a lot. Of course, I had all this education as my background.
Yeah.
It's really work in action, like learning it by doing it with these hundreds and hundreds of
Right.
clients and students that I have had, and then create exercises and techniques that really works for the Western world. Of course, sound and indigenous people are, and the ancient ones, they knew how we can pull things out with our voice. And, the native people, they use it very raw. Not that my method sometimes is not raw, it is, but I had to do a lot of research by doing it with us
Yeah.
Westerners and see what are really fine-tuned techniques and exercises. And what is amazing with using properly and intentionally the voice is, of course, not just the throat chakra, the whole other, we talk about 7 or 9 or 13 chakras, our whole system are really realigned and refined, resculpted as we go into these exercises. It's taken me 4 decades to create this, almost 4 decades to create where it is now. And I continue to develop it because that's the way to get it to stay useful and young. And there's always more to open up to.
Another layer. But yeah, right. So you haven't been to this part of the world. You're mainly operating in, I think your work is quite big. You're offering beautiful retreat of soul voice method in Europe, and you haven't been in this part of the world for about 10 years in Australia to share your soul's work. So it's exciting that you're coming to Australia this year and very soon. Actually, you'll be here very, very soon during a tour around the big cities, Brisbane, Melbourne, and Sydney. You'll be here sharing with us your soul's voice workshop on the 1st and the 2nd of March here in Sydney, and you'll be doing a week in Melbourne, calling in, I think it's called. What do you call the workshop there? It's calling in, right?
Oh, the title of the workshop are Free the Untapped Power of Your Voice.
Untap the power of your voice. Okay.
Free the untapped power of your
Freely, freely, freely untap the voice.
free the untapped
Freely.
power of your
Okay,
voice.
that's the Danish accent there.
Free the untapped power of the voice.
All right, freeing the untapped power of the voice. Okay, amazing. So that's what's happening very soon. And tell us, like, what people who are coming to the workshop before and after. What is the transformation palpable that someone who's called to join Soul Voice would experience, like who they are when before they arrive and the person they're becoming after spending 2 days intensively from 9 to 6 at the drill hole in Rushcutters Bay, immersing themselves into Soul Voice. What's the transformation?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to indicate that it's really for everyone. As I said earlier, I work with a lot of people who already have some kind of therapeutic education or work with themselves in self-development, but anybody who has a voice can do this freeing, liberating method that I am pioneering. And that's very important. It's not about having a beautiful voice, being able to sing and so forth. It's really for everybody that wants to work with themselves, want to come deeper into the consciousness of all levels of ourselves, of course, also the consciousness of your voice, coming deeper into more clear communication, more deeper listening. What happens right away is that you start to really sense we are vibrational energy out to our fingertips, down to our toes, in all our trillions of cells. It is so profound to start with warming up something that is not only physical, but goes into your consciousness, your psyche, and your emotional body. The warming up is not only the vocal cords, it's like interrelated, connected to your fully embodiment from the very beginning. So the embodiment, the grounding, the boundary setting is very important to learn. And this is probably one of the most important things we first need to deal with if we want to come in alignment. How to be centered, how to be focused, how to be grounded, how to set boundaries, how to stay in your power in your full body and not cutting off as we do. We talk with our head or we talk with our body, but totally realigned. So you get a new sense of the power of yourself. And when you have that, then you can listen to the inner voice in a complete new way. Like after all this shouting, you say, wow, now I know who I am and what I'm here to do. When you free your expression totally, which we work more with on the second day after we have done some pain release that I may come a little bit into to talk about how we do that. But on the second day, we also work with how to really I work with a technique that I've created called therapeutic acting. It's
Okay.
it's really coming to the point of when you go beyond your fear of really being who you are, your authenticity that you didn't know was not authentic, what you showed, who are you then becoming? And then, I have the capacity with all these decades of working with people to really guide people very specifically where they need to go. Again, it's just a touch at a later stage, later in March. I'll do a longer training, 6 days training in Australia as well. But first, on the first day, it's important after all these more vulnerable exercises also we have warmed up to in order for people to trust and to feel safe, that they can learn more specifically how to unravel or discharge the body of their stress, of their physical or emotional pains, how they can go more directly in with their own soundscapes and learn how to do this unraveling process. And of course, there are sound healing sessions in the Solvers techniques, which I don't need to come into specifics of now, but it's an overall, it is really highly rejuvenating detoxification, learning how to be clearer in your embodiment of your voice, learning how to connect to your inner voice, to your listening, learning what your inner yin and yang really are and the imbalance of your inner yin and yang, which is also in this bridge of our throat, the feminine energy going downwards, the masculine going upwards. So that inner yin yang balance is also a part of my exercises and working with the imbalances, of course.
Mhm. Yeah, you talk a lot about what we're doing, but I guess my question is more around like what is the tangible result? Like when they're gonna come on the other side, who they are, like it's a
Oh,
to what I'm hearing is a clearer understanding on knowing of who you are and your purpose, your passion, what you're here to, your calling, what you're here to transmit.
it totally depends on what you come with. If you have a chronic headache, it may release. If you have lower back pain, it may be release.
Right. So
If you
it's
have
a healing.
difficulties in listening to your inner voice, you say, Well, I heard my inner voice for the first time, and I know now what to do. So it totally, I can't access my grief for real. I can't access my frustration. I'm always projecting on others. I'm always jealous. If
Mm.
this is your issues, maybe they are getting healed. So people come with all kinds of issues, and it's not only issues, it is about developing more that vibration that you already are. The blueprint is coming out of who we are, so the tone of our voice. And how to get this more connected to who you truly are, to get it to a new state of consciousness and awareness.
Yeah,
So
that's what I love. That's what I resonate with, and my
it's
people will resonate
fully,
with
yeah,
that.
it
Yeah,
fully depends on where you're at.
right, right.
But
And
I must say there is many people who shortcut the emotional body, yeah? And that is where the heart is, where it is happening, because the heart has all the other emotions that people they, oh yeah, I have dealt with this already. But it depends on when you really start to unravel the next layers, then you'll just see and you surprise yourself, and there's no judgment. Send your judgment on vacation so that you can really express yourself. Just send it on vacation so you can really go, all right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Send your
Well,
children on vacation. I love that.
yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
Happens on so many levels. So it's like, depends on what your intention are. People always say it went way beyond what I thought was possible. And actually, I just got some quotes from the New Zealand workshops that testimonials.
Yeah.
And one of them said, well, actually, in our final circle, there was more than half of the people who said, this is the most profound weekend I have ever experienced.
Wow, wow, the most profound. Mm.
Yeah, and most developing, transformative.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very, very powerful.
Mm. Yeah, amazing, amazing. So yeah, we're all very excited to jump into that container and that safe space to
Thank you.
dive in because
An adventure. Be
I do.
surprised.
I've created a modality myself, voice tapping, and I'm really I'm a big believer and very passionate that our voice, is I mean it's been healing me, singing myself lullaby in when I was really sick and I was on my deathbed in hospital in 2017 and the soothing of my own voice was my medicine because our medicine is within ourselves. It's not external to us. No one's going to save us. There's no one who's going to come and give you the pill to get out the matrix and save you. Our own medicine is in our own body, in our own heart, in our own soul. But sometimes we're not accessing it, and I know for me that it has worked over and over again. The sound of my own voice, my own frequency is my medicine. And we all have, it's our birthright to access that and to know what works for us. And I guess, if you're called to voice work, if you are drawn to my energy, to Karina's energy here, I wanted to introduce her to you so that you can feel her energy. If you're called, it's not something academic, it's a sense. You got it in your within your own heart if you're called, if you're a freaking big fat yes or if you're a no, and both are okay. It's just to know. And that's what we're going to practice in that container, in that soul's voice. We're going to practice the embodiment. It's a big embodiment practices to some big embodiment practices to know what are your F yes and your F no, and to know what resonates by allowing yourself to free your voice, to express your voice, to liberate your voice. And yeah, I'm also super passionate about that methodology, using the voice. I think it's extraordinary and it's available. It's our voice, it's our template, it's our temple. So So, Karina, that sounds amazing. Excited as. And any questions people have, put them in the comment below. We've extended the early bird until the end of Jan, the 31st of January. So the link is down below. If you have any question, you can reach out to me about the Sydney workshop, of course, which is happening on the 1st and the 2nd of March. Which is in about 6 weeks, I believe. It's coming soon. We've got a few people registered. We're very exciting, which is very exciting. And yeah, so jump on the early bird. It's super affordable. It's at the Drill Hall in Rushcutters Bay, which is a great space to move, to express. The acoustic is fabulous. And yeah, if you love sounding, voicing, singing, expressing yourself, if you want to have more space, freeing more space within, gain clarity about the truth of who you really are and what you're here to do, join us at Soul Voice Method Workshop with Karina Schelde. Karina, thank you so very much. A joy to have you here. Karina's got a YouTube channel. You can go and play and do some exercises with her there. It's all very, straightforward and self-explanatory. There's a website, soulvoice.net, karinashelde.com. So if you want to go and check it out, there's a couple of books that she's written. And yeah, if you want to go and immerse yourself or any questions you have, reach out to me. And can't wait to play in Sydney on the 1st and 2nd of March. And I'll put the link to grab your spot for the early bird rate until the end of Jan, available for you. Any word of wisdom you want to close up with, Karina, that you'd love to share, so it lands in people's heart who are on the fence? People might be on the fence, a bit curious, but what would be very short in a sentence, the last piece of wisdom that you'd love to share with us, like your legacy that you'd love to offer?
Well, actually, I am also right now, I'm down under, and I am available for a brief conversation on Zoom or Skype if anybody has any concern of any kind. So I will make that available because, as I have talked about the method, it is a quantum leap method, but you don't need to think too much about how many jumps you're going to take during this week. And I think we have, and I have talked in essence about what the work is about, and there is a lot of material available. I know that it is a life-changing weekend because participants, they say that. Some people are like a gazelle, very fast. Others are like turtles. I work with people between 25 years young and 75 years young or elder, and everybody comes together in a absolutely divine synchronicity of helping and supporting them to be really sustainable in that of what you learn, what you start to learn in this weekend. Namaste.
Mm, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Karina. And so if people want to connect directly with you, I suppose they can
Also you. Yeah.
through me. Okay, so I can direct you to Karina Schelde. Ta-da! Amazing. Thank you so much, Karina. I'm looking forward to a big hug and to play in that space. So exciting. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please let us know what's landing for you in this conversation. Yeah, your questions, your comments below this video, and yeah, grab your spot and see you there on the 1st and 2nd of March at the Drill Hall in Sydney. I will stop the live stream. Stop live stream. Bye bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Karina. Ciao, ciao.